garage of Andy Phillips. We're in the garage today. I'm going to be showing you how to change the belts on a Pontiac Fiero. This is a GT, so it's a 2.8 liter V6. We're going to be doing the accessory belt that goes around the AC compressor, and then also the Serpentine belt that goes around the pulleys and the alternator. So let's get under the vehicle and I'll show you how to do that. First thing you want to do is you want to remove the rear passenger tire. That'll give you access here to the pulleys where the belts are. So let's slide under here so we can get a better shot of it for you. In order to loosen the Serpentine belt, which goes around the alternator, you have right here that it's a 13 millimeter bolt. You loosen that, you can slide the alternator forward on that little track right there. That'll then loosen this belt here. We can take that off. And then for the accessory belt, you can see right there, there is also a track on that one. And let's see, right here is a 15 millimeter bolt. You can slide that forward to loosen that tension, slide that one off. So that's what we're going to do right now, and we'll take those off. While we have it off, we're also going to refinish these pulleys. As you can see, they're in pretty bad condition since this thing was neglected. And we're going to go ahead and refinish them and then go ahead and lubricate them real good and then put the new belts on. There we go. You can see here, it's sliding just enough so we can pull that off. There we go. Here's the belt that we took off. It actually doesn't look as bad as I thought it would. I mean, it does look, it's a little bit scuffed up on the sides, and it's a little bit thin compared to the new belt. And I'll show you. Here's the belt we took off. Here's the new one that I'm putting on, so you can see it's a lot thicker. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, but let's go ahead and take off the accessory belt now. Now to get to the air conditioning compressor, 15 millimeter bolt to loosen that belt for the accessories, it's a little bit of an interesting situation because you've got this hose coming down. So what I'm using here, I'm using an extension here on my ratchet. I believe it's a 13 or 14 inch extension. That way I can slide in there and get to it. So you may need to do that, otherwise it's a little bit of a tight squeeze to get in under there. Okay. See if we can get that to move. There we go. Perfect. And then we can just slide this belt off, and then we can remove that one. Okay. This is what came off, and actually this belt's not in too bad a shape either. Mainly it's because these belts have been sitting on this vehicle for a few years. I want to get them off of there. I don't know if they're drying out or what. I mean, this one's got a couple little nicks and stuff on it, but nothing major. But we're going to replace it here with this one here. So we'll go ahead and get that on and be done with these. All right, went ahead and refinished that pulley, and a little bit on that one there, nothing much, but this was the one and the one above it that were pretty bad. So they've been refinished, so we're going to go ahead and start putting the belts back. The first one you need to put on is the accessory belt that goes around the AC compressor, because that one goes behind the Serpentine belt. So let's go ahead and get that one on. We'll get it tightened up, then we'll do the Serpentine belt, then we'll lubricate the pulleys, and we're done with this. Okay, put the belt here. The accessory belt goes on this pulley here in the back. Right like that. Now let's wrap it around the compressor pulley. Now under the car, you'll see right here underneath the pulley you have 3 slots. Pretty much for that, you can insert, like for example right here, you can insert something and you can adjust that pulley to push it. So you can go ahead and then push it forward, hold it in place till you get the belt in, then release it, and then you can tighten the tension. Okay, we have the tension being held underneath through the through that slot that I showed you. So now we can get that belt. There we go. Belt is on. So now let's just go ahead and tighten it right there, and then we'll be good to go. Okay, to tighten it, that's a 15 millimeter bolt. So what we're going to do is just slide that in place right there to give the right tension. And then we'll go ahead and do that. And you're going to need
a minimum of a 14-inch extension on your ratchet to do that. Just as we use those slots to release the tension, we're also going to use it now to create the tension by going in right here. See that? And then you can pull it. So I'm going to go ahead and set the tension here, and then we'll tighten it up on the upper end. All right, tension is good. We've got it anchored down there, so I'm going to go ahead and give a couple more turns just to kind of finalize everything and get it completely tight. There we go. Next, we're going to go ahead and put the serpentine belt on, which goes in front. You can see there's the accessory belt all in place. And then pretty much right here on that pulley is where the serpentine belt goes, and it wraps around that belt, that pulley up above it, and then it wraps around the alternator. So we're going to go ahead and loop that all around, tighten up the tension, and get that on there. All right. So we have it going around the two pulleys. So what we're going to do now, and let's see, unfortunately I can't get a good enough view for people to see, but this alternator right here will slide forward so we can then wrap it around this pulley here. Okay, there it is going around the alternator. You can see it wrapping around that upper pulley, coming down around the bottom. So we have it all on. And to do so, you got to make sure that that bolt right there is completely loose. That way you can slide the alternator as far forward as it has to go to get that on there. So now that that's on there, we're going to go ahead and adjust the tension, tighten that up, and then we'll lubricate the pulleys. Okay. What I like to do is you put a screwdriver in there in front of the bolt. That way you can push the tension as much as you need it, and you hold that in place while you're tightening it. Okay, I think we're good. Oh yeah, tension is good. Another thing I'm going to apply is this Prestone belt dressing. When the engine's idling, you go ahead and apply it directly to the grooves of the pulley. It helps prolong the belts. It's just good for the pulley system. So we're going to add that as well. Well, this pretty much wraps up the video for today on how to change out the belts on a Pontiac Fiero GT. I hope it helped you out. Please send any questions, any comments. I would love to hear from you. As always, we appreciate your support, so please like the video, subscribe to this channel. I'm always posting new content on there, and we'll see you next time.